Okay, so right now I want to talk about a total retro classic beast, uh, Cabotine. And I love the little funky bottle. Cabotine by Gray. I've heard it pronounced different ways. Gres, Cabotine. Um, and I actually want to read a little bit about it because it's so interesting. This was just, it was made in 1990, and it's a floral fragrance for women, although I've actually seen some men talking about how they like to use it. And I just want to read a little bit about the history because it's interesting being such a big hit like in the 90s. It was created in 1990. Um, and it says on Fragrantica, in the creator's imagination, Cabotine is a daughter of Cabochard, a younger generation perfume which has preserved the elegance and distinction of Cabochard. It was created with love and enthusiasm, with a very limited budget, and it became a classic of the 1990s. It was created by Jean-Claude Deville from IFF, and he was expected to make a light but lasting perfume, which was a hard task to do. The perfumer found its formula in floral aldehyde accord and presented a transparent fragrance with green floral and sharp aldehyde notes. The perfume is very light, easy to wear, and at the same time tenacious. I don't know about light or easy to wear, but it is tenacious. Uh, it achieves success regardless of very limited advertising and promotional support. And y'all excuse me, I just had septoplasty, so my nose is stuffed up. Uh, the composition is created around the ginger lily, also known as the butterfly lily, a Himalayan large-petaled white flower growing in harsh high mountain climates. This plant blooms for only a few weeks in the springtime, and each flower lives only for a few hours, which makes it difficult, almost impossible, to extract the oil. An IFF pioneering researcher, Dr. Braja Mukherjee, found a way to, I'm sorry if I brutalized that name, found a way to analyze the oil structure using the living flower technique and to copy the fragrance of the ginger lily, what enabled the industrial production. Cabotine, and I'm reading the way it's written actually. Cabotine is the first perfume which contains ginger lily in its composition. Okay, so in this, it's got so many notes, you guys. This cute, spunky little bottle. If you're a fragrance collector, you really just, whether you wear it often or hardly ever, I feel like you should have Cabotine in your collection. Um, so the top notes are coriander, orange blossom, black currant, cassia, plum, tangerine, and peach. The middle notes are tuberose, hyacinth, carnation, ginger, jasmine, ylang, freesia, rose, iris, heliotrope, and violet. The base notes are vetiver, civet, black currant, musk, sandalwood, cedar, amber, tonka bean, and vanilla. This is very much a green floral, and it does have some sharpness to it, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit more here. Some people say that they like it in the summertime. Others will say this is far too strong. You need to be light-handed with this. It is a beast. People also talk about the fact that it's been reformulated from its original beast mode. So, I ordered this one offline and it's pretty beast mode. But I do know what they're saying since I just recently turned 45. I remember smelling this as a very young person myself. And there are actually men who have this. This is definitely a great value. I think I got this one now for like $10 or $11 online. Now, some people make comparisons to this to Amarige by Givenchy, or Givenchy, excuse me. I totally disagree because Amarige is actually one of my favorites, and I can see in some far off way how they can make some subtle, very, very subtle comparison, but no way to me are the same. However, others consider this a dupe of Dior Poison. The way it's spelled, it looks like Tundra, but I think it's pronounced Tendre, like tender, I guess. And I do remember that from back in the day. And I can definitely see, I can see the association of that. Now, people make a mistake when they call that a dupe of the poison Tangerine, because this Cabotine was out before poison Tangerine. So if anything, the Dior was actually copying Cabotine. However, I remember as a kid, my mother had a flower shop, and sometimes with some of her flower arrangements, people liked it when she would include like a small fragrance dupe with the flower gift. And they had that poison, that the green bottle, the green box. So it was like the dupe of the poison, I guess, Tangerine. And yeah, I recall from memory, this does, smelling this now, has that sense of DNA in it. Certainly it would not be the exact same thing, but I definitely get the associations between Cabotine and Dior Poison Tangerine, which I think has actually been discontinued. I see some people saying that they like to wear this out of the shower, like I said, very light-handedly. I actually see, a guy talking about, there are a lot of men who like to wear women's fragrances, that he loved the freshness and he liked to put it on his linens. Now, I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of. Being somebody who's 45, I remember going to like family reunions at the beach, and some of my older distant cousins coming in off the beach, and they would, go in their hotel rooms, wash up, and probably wash their hair with something like Wella Balsam, maybe put on some aloe vera, and then maybe some kind of fragrance like the poison Tangerine. I'm really not certain about how everyone else pronounces that, but when you look it up, they say Tangerine, or at least that's what I looked up. Or even something along the lines of like a Giorgio Beverly Hills or something, with that mix of Wella Balsam and like aloe vera lotion. That is like the vibe I get. And that's like back in the day when people would put on like a skirt in the summertime and still wear pantyhose with their heels. If any of you are my age or older, I'm sure you remember those days, which is actually considered proper still, I think. So yeah, this is just a classic. It is very much, this is an extreme green floral. And I just love the funky little cap on it. I really do. There's actually more that I could read on this and its history, but I feel like I've already done that enough in this video, and you certainly could do that on your own if you were interested. Every once in a blue moon, I will put a little tiny bit of this on. Probably it is best in like the cool spring. I would think that would be what would suits it best. Kind of stammering here, sorry. It's very long lasting. The sillage is enormous. So spray lightly and enjoy, and and get on the time machine back to the 90s, back when they made fragrances that really blasted and really lasted. So that would be Cabotine for sure. And like I said, I do get the association with the green bottle Dior Poison Tangerine. And I'm just scanning through some other people. There are people who are just still huge fans of this. It is bold. It's not in any occasion fragrance because it's so bold. But I think that's what makes it lovable. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that. I read all the notes and made the associations and a little bit about the history. So check it out. And if you're a collector, if you don't already have it, I'm surprised, but if you're beginning collecting and you want more of an old school retro classic, add this to your collection. It doesn't cost you much at all, and it is nice, in my opinion, for at least that occasional use when you do want to be bold and you do want to be wearing something that nobody else, don't you just get tired of whatever is trendy at the moment. Sometimes it's really nice to put on a flashback type of fragrance from before and not be smelling like everybody else walking down the street currently. So that's my take on Cabotine. All right,